love Karuna's floor.
Yeah, isn't it wonderful?
Awesome.
It's for her kids, for her daughters.
It's a really interesting idea for yoga floors, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what she said last week. She said it's perfect for yoga.
Oh my God, it's awesome.
How are you? How
Good.
are you?
How are you, John? Good.
Good morning.
I'm good. It was really great to be in candid conversations with y'all yesterday. Really
Yeah.
great.
Oh my God, it's so incredible, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm working with Christine to get your login so I can set the email stuff up. I think I ended up pinging Karuna this morning, probably when I tried to get in right.
Notice, but ping me anytime.
I kept, and of course, I'm the type of person when it wasn't on my phone, I'm like, oh, I have to do it again. Where is it? So, then I finally realized it was going somewhere else.
Do you have problems like me with perfectionism?
Yes, something like that, John. Yes. Must have noticed.
Laughter is good medicine for perfectionism, I hear. And John has the best laugh on the planet.
Great laugh.
You should know. You should know.
Oh, wow. Welcome, everybody. Thanks so much. Here we are. Let's get going. So the space is open. If anybody would like to speak to the community at this time, please do.
I'll just say I'm so grateful to be here and be laughing on a Monday morning.
Thank you, Liz.
I will share that I'm also feeling really grateful. I have the house to myself for the first time in about a year.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Sarah. And you could close your eyes, or you could settle your eyes to one thing. And beginning with a scan of your breath baseline without trying to change or fix anything, getting into right now it's like this. And building on the work that we did with self-healing last week, I'm going to invite us to bring attention to the crown and open up to this furthest corners of the universe, opening to life force that is available. And inviting in whatever is for the highest good of each of us today to come through. And the intent we are working with today is self-empowerment. And one of the things that I think is very alive in the connective tissue of this community is the deep desire to remove all of the obstacles in the way of that true embodied self-empowerment, so that these benefits are available to all. And so beginning to allow the tracking through the central channel, through the crown, awareness moves into the brow point. So often the Ajna chakra, sixth chakra, has to do with will and intent. So just sensing where that lands in terms of self-empowerment. And then continuing to allow the awareness to travel through the throat and the space of the neck. Down through the heart, center, front of heart, back, side to side. Allowing a soft, wide breath to develop so that you're removing any obstacles in the way from accessing this sense of power that is you and available to you. Coming down through the diaphragm area, lifting the ribs to lengthen through the core. And then allowing awareness to travel to the belly and the pelvis. And as you're breathing, as you're paying attention, you can ask your awareness to let whatever amount of material, sometimes emotions can come up with this, and I find it really useful. You can ask your consciousness to just keep it within the window of tolerance. And I found that that can be really powerful in terms of working with body intelligence to work in a safe and healing way. And then if it's available, continuing to breathe in a way that brings awareness to the belly and the foundation of pelvis, that melts down any obstacles to really inhabiting the power of the lower part of the core and the grounding nature of that. Letting your roots grow deep, deep into the earth. And if it is available, allowing love and gratitude for your body and your sadhana, your spiritual work. And an alternate option I find when gratitude can be inaccessible, compassion, the desire to remove suffering and obstacles can be a great option. So here we have the energies of the Lunar New Year buoying us. There's a holiday in South Asian meditation communities of Ganesh, the remover of obstacles, is celebrated today. And so just seeing where we can allow our tentacles of empowerment to join with the forces of nature and consciousness around the globe. And then just sensing here if there is a felt sense or a set of words, I'm empowering myself with an intent to heal, is one that I've been working with. If there's a color, and just seeing from your own self-wisdom, If there's anything that comes, and nothing necessary, nothing required, but just making space to be in contact. If there's a hand position, and then we'll work with some Brahmari into the belly. So you could keep your hands in any position that you have, or else place one hand over the other below the navel. And begin to play with some humming, buzzing, and you can play with the pitch to see what actually helps you to create a connection into the belly. Finding your own rhythm, finding your own pitch, we'll do just about 60 seconds of this, playing with it. And when it comes to an organic pause, settling, and bringing the hands into prayer and begin to create some friction. Exhaling through the mouth, feeling the exhale on your hands. And then placing your palms over your face, over your eyes, and just sense where's the most comforting place. Taking some clearing breaths out through the mouth. And tracking into your relationship with this intent of empowerment, particularly when you're connected to your facial muscles, this place that's been with you your whole life. What is your ability to relax your facial muscles, to love and have gratitude for your face? In terms of the conversation around vagal tone, the vagus nerve has a lot of nerve endings in the face. So relaxing the face is linked to relaxing the gut. And then just sensing with the furthest reach of your hearing where you might be able to hear, depending where you are, it might not be that hard, but see where you can find a reach. So you're activating your vestibular system to see what is the furthest sound that you can hear in your environment. When you're ready, relax the hands down. And let's do some eye exercises. So first, just blinking the eyes, getting a sense of both relaxing the eyes and taking a look around. So we'll take a bit of a free flow journey here. So see if you can sense there are 6 muscles at the base of the skull that participate in eye movement. And when they get tight, eye movement gets restricted and it affects brain flexibility. So just beginning to take in your environment and also have a sense of who is seeing. Seeing if you can bring your energy and your state and your empowerment intent to sense the seer as well as the environment. So it's a relationship. Giving and receiving, giving and receiving. Keep breathing. And then from there, coming to do some work with looking to diagonals. So settling down, if you like, you could use arm diagonals and find your point. So we're working into some arm stimulation. So I'm going to look at an upper right point and then a lower left. My tendency is to want to use my head. See if you can just use your eyes and bring the arms closer if needed. Going between your 2 points. Keep breathing. So you're bilaterally stimulating the brain, doing these. And then close eyes, take a deep breath in. Hold the breath for your level of comfort and then exhale everything out. And then take it to the opposite side with your arms. So I'm doing left arm up, right arm down. And just checking if your tendency is to move your head, just make the arms closer. And look to upper left, lower right, or whichever side you didn't do yet. And then close eyes, take a very deep breath in. Hold the breath at the top, and then exhale everything out when you're ready. And then beginning to come into chin, like a furling in wave, tucking the chin, and then ramping. You can use your self-assist, press the back of your head into your hand, reach the crown for the ceiling, and then look up. And then furling and thinking of a furling wave. You could ramp your head, press head into hand, reach crown of head. You could do 2 hand assists. So you're looking up without crunching the back of the neck. Find your furling and wave. This time involve the thoracic spine. So upper back rounds, and then ramp your head, back of head, crown of head. And then just seeing what you can discover about your mobility in your spine here, the upper back round. And then let it grow into a bit more of a back bend. Opening the chest, you could come into cactus arms or anything that feels good. Continuing to invite in any of your affirmations or power symbols or empowerment colors. And letting it go into more of the spine to whatever degree feels like your spine is ready to go. And the same thing, looking up. And then when you're ready, coming back to a tall spine, taking a listening breath, washing your awareness through the central channel. Let's come into a seated straddle. So you can come onto a bolster if that is a good move for you. Or a blanket. And then from here, getting any of your props or objects that are going to help you today. So as you come into your straddle, see where you can come into that same flexion of the spine, let it round, an extension till you find a middle point that feels like optimal alignment so that the front hip point and the back hip point are even. And then from there, let's take a few breaths in a forward fold. So I love to build a head support here for myself. So if you have time that's hilarious. If you like, go ahead and build yourself a head support. You have all the time you need. And what it feels like for me is just this giving my brain over and letting the bodily intelligence of the rest of these energy centers have more say than just my brain. And so here in this seated straddle, you can make it narrower, you can bend your knees, finding whatever is your intelligent way to work this, your body's intelligence. And then in our seated straddle, coming into some experimentation with the jaw. So wetting the jaw enough that you can begin to imagine like you're rubbing in lip balm. And then begin to improvise. If you like, you can add in some jaw massage. So the masseter, one of these strong muscles, what you might want to do is just lengthen down at the jaw point, and then intuitively feel for a spot that you could land on or keep working on. And sometimes these forward bends can have a parasympathetic response, an ability to get more into rest and digest. And then also dynamically reaching through your foundation. So sitting on your sit bones strongly, reaching through the feet and the legs. And then from here, come on up. Let's come into a straddle side bend. So taking the hand out, telescoping the ribs, reaching up and over, and you can spin the pinky finger in and just play with, but opening the chest and then finding your degree of a side stretch that also feels like it lengthens the core. You can look forward if your neck is tight, sometimes looking down towards the right leg. And then let's come into a chest opener, reach the arm up on a 45-degree angle, and then bring the arm back. And again, adjusting your gaze to where it feels like you are taking care of your neck and sensing your physical body in your self-empowerment practice. Receiving energy, moving energy in a way that removes blockages. Bring the arm back in line with the torso. Cover your right ear. So I am mirroring you guys at this point. Cradle your head as you come back up. And then take the left arm out, plant the hand, move the shoulder and the shoulder blade down as best you can. And then feel as you flip the palm, the external rotation, sit down on the right hip to find a root for your side bend. And then maybe you want to guide the breath into the rib cage muscles, getting some information about the intercostals weaving in between the ribs. Continuing to feel for your access to love and gratitude for your body, for your journey. And then from there, bring the arm on a 45-degree angle from the torso. Spread the pinky finger away from the thumb. Inhale here. And then exhale, forearm comes back behind the line of the torso. Choose your gaze point. And then bring the arm over and down, cover your ear, give your head to your hand, and then put your head back up. And then from there, bring the feet into Dandasana, so you're in staff pose. And again, sitting up on a support might be a good idea. Bending the knees and blanketing or propping the knees here also could be great. And then from here, grabbing a block or any object that's going to give you something to squeeze. And you can do it without, you can do it with your intention, right? Bringing elbows to shoulder height. And then just here, sometimes I like to put something to activate my feet here. So you might want to squeeze something between the feet. And then take a few breaths here. feeling all of these levels that we're working on with a focus on the emotional body and the energy body. Shoulders down, shoulder blades down, elbow tips reach forward, and then just see what's possible here as you bring the elbows up without sticking the ribs out, so you get more information about the shoulder girdle. And then let your prop go, take a feeling breath here. And a couple of options, either knee pile, so stacking both knees. If that feels like too much for your hips, extend out through the left leg. So again, option to use something to sit on and see where you can get a sense of opening the hips, arms stretch out, look up, and then give yourself a hug, left arm under. See if you can manually get a sense of the tissues in the back. Lift ribs, and then let yourself fold, send the elbow tips forward. Maybe you stay right here, maybe you wrap at the wrists. See what feels more interesting. Keep a active reach through the leg. If the leg is extended, keep both feet active if you're in knee pile. And then see what information you can find about the tissues and the energy of the back of heart. And then unwind, reach the arms out, reach the arms up, sweep up. And we'll take it to the other side. So coming back through Dandasana, either knee pile, both knees bent, seeing where they're willing to go, or keeping the right leg extended. And then from there, switching up to, can't remember, left arm over, right arm under, whichever side you didn't do yet. And then from there, shoulders down, elbow tips reach forward. Send your breath into the upper back, either staying here or wrapping at the wrists. And at any moment, you can move the head to see if what's going on in the tissues right at the base of the skull. Take any of those jaw release, eye movements to help you keep settling. And then come on up, unwind the arms, and then come back into external rotation, reach up. Unwind the legs, take another breath in your Dandasana. So feeling how you're basically in down dog here, beginnings of down dog. And we're gonna go ahead and go to the floor to do some core work. So if you have an object you could roll up for some core work, great. Otherwise you can just do it with using the inner legs. Come into half Shavasana to start. And then feel into softening the front ribs towards the back ribs. And allowing yourself to come into awareness of the back body, the lunar body, as it's called in yoga oftentimes. Where do you get some information about your back? From here, we'll come into back release, taking the left ankle on top of the right thigh and begin to rock the low back side to side. Also called figure four sometimes. And then just really getting into some information about the tissues in the low back here. And then from here, come back to center. Take the hands of the inner thigh, press hand into thigh and thigh into hand, and then press the outer left leg away from the torso. Let that go. Let's take it to the other side. Right ankle on top of left thigh, rocking the low back, paying attention to QL, quadratus lumborum, a long muscle that goes into the low back, the sacral area, the outer hip. And all of the power that exists in the foundation of pelvis, belly, lower body. Come back to center, press hands into inner thigh, press inner thigh into hands, let some resistance go, and then let it go. So it's sort of like head to ankle prep, you're teasing out space in that hip. I just got an extra jaw release from doing that hip move. And then from there, come back to center, take a feeling breath. Grab your roll. And then from here, we'll come into some gate openers. So you can bring the prop to the inner legs and reach the legs straight up, like you're grabbing your prop and sending it to the ceiling. And then if you don't have your prop, you can use the work of using your inner legs and your intention. Interlace your hands at the base of the skull bone. You can give those muscles a massage there. Shoulders away from ears. Pick the head and chest up just a little bit and relax the head into the hands. Take a big breath into the back bottom ribs. Squeeze your prop, curl the tailbone up so the posterior chain wakes up, and then on exhale, both elbows reach up, low belly pulls in. And you can take one hand to your prop. You can also put a hand on pubic bone if you're not working with the prop. Take another breath in here, and then on exhale, curl the pubic bone towards the navel, pull the low belly in, and then kick out through the legs. Legs come back together. Hand comes behind the head, head and chest comes down a bit. Inhale here. Squeeze your prop like you're trying to send it forward. Internal rotation. Curl the tailbone up. And then on exhale, head and chest reaches up. Make space in the shoulder girdle there. Low belly pulls in. One hand to your prop. Bring the legs into straddle. Take a big breath in. Inhale. And then on exhale, curl pubic bone, elbows reach up, low belly pulls in. Use the inner legs and the outer legs here. You can play with pointing and flexing. Legs come back together, head and chest comes down. A little bit. Keeping the head off the floor, I forgot that part. Inhale here. Squeeze prop, curl tailbone, exhale, elbows reach up. Low belly pulls in, one hand stays behind the head, the other hand comes to the prop, reach out through the legs. Inhale. Exhale, curl pubic bone, elbows reach up, reach, move thigh bones away from pelvis, low belly pulls in, legs come back together. We'll do one more here. Come down a little bit with head and torso, inhale, squeeze prop, curl the tailbone up, exhale, elbows reach up, low belly pulls in, hand to roll or pubic bone, inhale, exhale, curl, reach the elbow up, low belly pulls in, reach through the thigh bones, lower legs, feet, legs come back together, head and chest comes down, prop to the side, and then see where you can get a sense of what did that do? How can you serve your intent? Feeling the power of intention. Let's come into our bridge. So feet can be underneath knees or a little bit forward. If you like, you can use a prop between the inner legs. Really nice way to work. And then from there, bringing the arms, palm facing up, or any variation you like to work here. There's so many great ways to work in bridge. Inhale across back, bottom ribs. Exhale, coming into just your very first edge, so not your highest bridge. And just see where you can get some awareness into the hamstrings and glutes, get weight into your heels. And then begin to get a sense of breathing in a way that gives you support here. Notice what you're doing with your eyes. Is there a searching response of eyes looking around? Can you settle your gaze, which is going to communicate to your nervous system? And begin to play with sending the knees forward, sending the thigh bones forward, grounding to the inner edges of the feet. And then this is a back bend. Just for those of us who don't practice wheel, this is where you can get the medicine of wheel of chest up. Maybe you even flip your palms and work that hand position. And then whenever you're ready, we'll work into our Uddiyana. So you could keep breathing, keep the chest lifted. I'm finding it really useful to press my elbows down to lift my chest and relax internally. Fill all the way up with the breath. Pause, exhale everything out. Get empty, pull the belly back, lower down as slowly as you can so you feel your back making contact with the ground, and then relax the belly and inhale. Keep neck relaxed. See if there's any intuitive movements that want to happen here, maybe windshield wipering the legs side to side. Come on up to tabletop. And we're going to come into flash prep with the knees down. So combination of dolphin. So pressing the ground away and then using that ramping your head cue. Imagine bringing the back of the head towards the ceiling, the crown of the head forward, settle your gaze. Press into your shins. Keep all that. Bring the right elbow down underneath the shoulder and then really sort of grab onto the ground and flatten the inner hand. And then from there, scoot the left arm back. If you can do a 90-degree angle, great. That otherwise it might be more like 4 to 6 inches if you have tightness in your wrists or your shoulders. So play with those two movement vocabularies, dolphin and chaturanga. Move the left shoulder and shoulder blade down, tweeze the left elbow in, and then press the ground away with your dolphin hand. You can either keep that ramping head position, back of the head towards the ceiling, crown reaching forward, or look towards the navel and let the head go completely. See what feels better. Keep pressing into shins. And then feel how this works the chest muscles asymmetrically. Feel for a hollowing of the armpit on the right. If it's a good move for you, you could begin to play with hovering the knees. Otherwise, this is plenty. Get really specific with your fingers, like you're trying to make 10 dents with your fingertips. And then let it go. Tabletop. Feel into the asymmetry and how that showed up in your shoulders and chest muscles. Left elbow down. Plug the whole forearm, the inner hand down. And then right hand is in chaturanga, either walking back to 90 degrees or coming back 4 to 6 inches. Move the right shoulder and shoulder blade down the back and tweeze the elbow in towards the midline. Either keeping that head extending forward or relax the head completely. Press into the tops of the feet. Reach like you're lengthening your big toes. And then from there, do that like you're trying to dent each of your fingertips and then let it go. You're trying to dent the floor with your fingertips and then let it go. Come back to tabletop. Let's come into half frog. So taking the right leg, extending it back, bend the knee, and then turn on the low glute and the hamstring, kick towards the ceiling, and then keeping the hip points as square as you can. So it might mean you bring the knee out just a little bit. Take your left arm out into a straight, like a warrior 2 arm, palm facing the floor. And then you can either ramp your head, back of the head towards the ceiling, crown of the head forward, or let the head relax. Feel into the outer hip getting stronger. And then extend your limbs forward and back. Wrap the shoulder blade, thumb to the ceiling. Roll the right inner thigh to the ceiling. Tabletop. Take a breath. Press into hands, press into shins. From there, extend back with a lot of focus. Bend the knee, left leg. And then again, turning on hamstring and low glute. If you want to give yourself an assist, you can check. Are you getting engagement right at the hamstring insertion and low glute? And then again, keep the hip points square, front hip points. Take the knee out, and it might mean you come out just a little bit or less, no problem. Bring the right arm out with the palm down. Spread through the toes. Keep breathing. Extend limbs forward and back. Wrap the shoulder blade towards the armpit. Move the thigh bone away from the hip. Feel into the low abs engaging, so you're working transverse abdominis. And then pause. So there's this term in yoga, grunties, knots of obstacles that the energy that the asana produces melts down those knots. So seeing where those obstacles are being addressed, where they show up. And then from here, let's come into down dog. So from tabletop, hands come forward, hands with distance, press the ground away, like you're pushing. Curl toes under, come on up. And then play with bringing front ribs towards back ribs. So you're breathing into the back bottom ribs. And then take any movements here that help you to inhabit your down dog. Find your forward fold. And take whatever variation is gonna serve you here. So interlacing behind the neck is my personal favorite. And hold on to inner elbows. When you're ready, come on up. Find your Tadasana, outer edges of the feet parallel. Get weight into the heels. Frontal hip points back over ankles. Find a feeling connection to your breath here as you come into prayer. See if you can sense the chi flow, the prana flow in your breath. And then, like you're picking up a big ball, lift your ribs. And then consider opening front body. Exhale, soft knees, hips back, forward fold. Inhale, left leg steps back into lunge. Kick into both feet, press into the left shin, lifting up, hold on to the right hip, and really see if you can get a sense of the tissues and the whole body as you're holding onto your hip. Let the left hip stay heavy. Lift the ribs, lift both sides of the ribs, even though you're compressing the right side. And then from here, play with some therapeutic intuitive movement for the lifted arms. So maybe the hand can come behind the back, like our shoulder flossing. And then from there, come back into your plank, either knees up or knees down. Hold for a few breaths. Press the ground away, kick through the heels if the knees are up. Shoulders away from the ears, and then lowering down smoothly. Press the ground away the whole time. And then right here, lift each leg and roll the inner thigh to the ceiling. Keep a strong reach through the posterior chain. You can do that self-assist. Am I getting that? Let's do some cobra push-ups. So hands could be under shoulders or a bit forward and wider. Inhale, using that cue of ramping the head, back of head, crown of head. Press the pubic bone into the ground. Let length be the priority here, coming in and out of your cobra. Pull your hands towards your feet. Feel the triceps engage. Feel the rib cage respond. Feel the abdominal muscles lengthen. And then come back, hands under shoulders. Press the ground away. Down dog. Play with your down dog, maybe you're bending knees. Feel for taking the hips back and have a sense of the sit bones moving away from each other. See if that makes sense. It's been a really helpful cue for my back pain recently. Sit bones move away from each other. From here, left leg is coming forward. Press into both feet, wake up your foundation. And then from there, our pubic bone is lifting. Hold on to your left hip. Lift your ribs, reaching up and over. And then again, take it on the road. See what feels useful to move the heat that you're generating from getting the big muscles in the lower body warm into where you need it in the upper body. From there, frame the front foot, step up, use your blocks if you like. And then either coming up with a flat back or rounding up, see what feels better. I like to do both. Lift your rib cage, kick into the ground to rise, and then open into your back bend, hands come and touch. Let's come into chair pose. So either keep feet wide, hips with distance. You could also bring them a bit closer, touching big toes. See what feels more interesting, hips back. And then I like to come in to bring the torso parallel to the earth sometimes. So let's try that. Breathing into the back body. And then come on up. Again, the arms can adjust whatever keeps you out of struggle in the upper body. So wider arms can work really nicely. Straighten legs, step back, plank. And again, take a few moments in your plank to build some heat. Feet up, your knees up or knees down. And then lower all the way down. Let's come into boat with hands on sit bones. So similar to the last round, reach back through each leg, press into the shins. Press into the feet. And then take the hands to the hamstring insertion, lifting legs, curl pubic bone towards navel. Elbows could go towards each other. Keep a strong posterior reach through the back body. Ramp the back of your head towards the ceiling, crown of the head reaches forward. And then noticing those micro movements here, keep breathing, feel your whole back chain of muscles working together. Kick through the legs and release. Take a feeling breath up, taking that energy. Hands on your shoulders, shoulders away from ears. The front core line hugging in towards the back body. And then from there, let's go ahead and come into standing. So we're going to come into horse stance. So please step wide. So similar to some of what we worked with last week, finding the wrist over ankle alignment. And first just taking some length into the side here, teasing out your awareness of the lateral sheath of the fascia, and then pivot the toes out. We're going to come into arch your arms in horse. So we'll stay here for both sides. So if you want to use a strap, let's do left arm up. Spin the right palm down, coming into, I can actually use my hair, I just realized. Either using a strap, or you could also just settle the hands wherever they land. And then checking in with your basic moves, feet active, kicking into the heel point, base of big toe, pinky toe, edge of the side of the foot. Wrap the bicep towards the ear. Any amount more, slide the right shoulder and shoulder blade down. See where you can get the breath into the heart here, into the places that you might not be accessing. From there, releasing the arm line, straightening the legs. Take a feeling breath here. Sweep. Open chest, reach out, take a pause in your 5-pointed star, using this as a way to experiment with reaching in all directions, taking up space. And we'll take that to the other side. Come on back into your horse stance. Right arm comes behind the head, left thumb spins down, either using your prop or resting your hands wherever your arms are able to go. Maybe they touch, they don't have to. Lifting pubic bone. And then just coming back to basic moves, feet active, deep breathing, relaxed neck. Wrap the right bicep towards the ear, reach the elbow up. And then on exhale, slide the right shoulder and shoulder blade down any amount. And then slowly release the arm on. And again, straighten legs, moving energy from pelvis through legs to the earth. Taking a pause in your 5-pointed star, look up. Sensing who is seeing and who is being seen and held in space. Rebend the knees. Let's come into twisting horse, and we'll add in some arm, shoulder flossing. So either starting with the forearm on the right thigh, and then from there, the other arm can reach up. You can use a prop if you like. Taking it around. And then when that feels complete, take that down, bring the hand to the inner thigh, and then twist a bit more towards the right. Getting a sense of how you can lengthen the ribs away from pelvis to get into making space in the core here. And then from there, come back to center, give your legs some breath support, forearm onto the thigh. Grab your block or an object here and see where you can take some improvised shoulder flossing to nurture the tissues with different movements here. And then from there, releasing your prop hand to your inner thigh, pressing down and away. Lengthen ribs away from pelvis, knit the front ribs in and down. See if that helps you breathe into your back a bit more. And then from there, come on up and sweep the arms out and up. Pause, look up. Bring the hands through center. Outer edges of the feet parallel. And let's finish up with a twist here, extending the left hand onto a block, right hand can stabilize sacrum. Inhale, lengthen, and then exhale, rotate the rib cage, rotate the spine. Bring the back of your head towards the upper right corner of the mat, crown of the head reaching forward. Maybe the hand reaches up, maybe it stays on your sacrum. Tease the left hip back if it's trying to come with you. And then from there, let's take it to the other side. Press the ground away with your hand on your block. Take the left hand to sacrum, stabilize. Inhale, lengthen. Use your inner legs and outer legs, and then rotate the ribs. Bring the back of the head towards the upper left-hand corner of the mat. Crown of the head reaches forward. Maybe the arm reaches up. When you're ready, releasing, take a moment in your forward fold. Let the energy move. From here, heel toe the feet together a bit, and then just using this as a practice for squatting, let's squat our way towards the ground. Taking all the time you need, pausing into any ways that you intuitively can move in a way that supports the hip and low back. And then come on down to your back. One of the teachers who I talk about in this class, Jumbo Truong, one of my teachers that I've been studying closely with for years, says there is no magic without intent. And so I offer you that jewel as you come resting, feeling how we did this fairly straightforward practice of asana. And when you bring in a high quality intent, how it changes everything. And celebrating yourself for empowering yourself today by pausing, coming into practice in community. And either coming right into your Shavasana or taking any other movements here. And if you had an affirmation or a symbol or a color, letting that be infused into your energetic space, into your bones, and then rest in the really good work you've done. Making a shift into adding a little breath to your inhale so you can feel the way the breath touches the internal environment. And feeling for touching yourself in an empowering way as you breathe. Exhaling, letting that empowerment spread to this community of practice. As you're ready, coming onto one side, keeping the neck and the eyes relaxed as you press into the ground to root, to rise. And then bringing the hands to touch or any other gesture that you would like to use to honor and uplift all of the internal and external work that this community is doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Karuna.